way up.
Perfect.
So I'm ready to start going.
All right.
I've got Catherine over here, and I've got Don over there. All right, ready? Welcome to 5 to 9, the movie game for movie fans, where we have to connect actors to actors through no fewer than 5 and no more than 9 movies. I'm your host, Eric Ginsberg, and we're coming to you live on tape from the boardwalk in beautiful Asbury Park, New Jersey. Do you love movies? Do you love getting lost in the IMDb, the Internet Movie Database? Do you love talking through, who is that guy? Who is in that thing? What's his face? Then this is your show, and this game is for you. In just a moment, I'm going to introduce today's contestants, but first I want to remind you that if you'd like to be a contestant on 5 to 9, you can enter for a chance to be on our show by beating us at our own game. Just download or purchase official 5 to 9 game cards at 5to9game.com. That's the number 5, T-O, the number 9game.com. Play today's challenge, post a photo of your winning game card on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, and tag at 5 to 9game in your post. So my first guest I'm going to be introducing today, she is a local musician, singer, songwriter. Her latest release is Like to Love. Everybody please welcome Catherine Quintana.
Hello.
Hello, Catherine.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you could be here. So Catherine, you told me before the show that one of your guilty pleasure movies is Spice World. And I feel the same way.
Wow.
I really love Spice World. Why do you love Spice World?
I love Spice World, although I haven't seen it since I was probably 7 years old. It stands out to me as a movie that I should not have been watching. My mom specifically told me not to watch it while I was at my babysitter's house, and of course I did. And so I couldn't really reiterate anything specific from the movie to you. But
you just know that you loved it and you feel bad for loving it at this point in your life.
Absolutely. I'm guilty for having watched it in the first place.
Yeah, I honest to God, I really enjoyed it. It did not try to take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
It knew it was a joke. It was like, hey, what if we just did A Hard Day's Night, but with the Spice Girls? And Meatloaf was the bus driver. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was silly. It was a romp, but I enjoyed it. Our next guest, he is a singer-songwriter in his own right. He is also in the band The Wag. Everybody, please welcome Don Lee.
Hello.
Everybody has welcomed you, Don.
I didn't hear any major applause. What's going on here?
Oh, we had that in post.
That's what it was. Oh, yeah, okay. That's how it works. Okay.
There's no post. It's not true. So Don, tell us about your latest album.
Well, I'm actually working on a new album. It's in a long time coming because my last solo release was back in 2014, and since I've been playing with 2 different bands, now it's sort of taking a little time away from that. But I have all the material. I just got to record it now. Have some good musicians playing on it with me as well. So
outstanding.
I'm hoping that will be out by the midsummer.
Yeah, your stuff it always reminds me of Squeeze.
A lot of big Squeeze influence.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, Don, you and I feel like we could just go toe to toe on quoting Spinal Tap all day.
Of course.
But what is your go-to Spinal Tap quote?
There's so many, but my favorite one is, I want large bread. Do you know what the quote what that's from? You don't even know where that's from. Okay.
No, you got to give me the context.
Oh, okay. Basically, he's going through the manager comes over and he says, "There's a problem." No, I have a problem with this smidge of bread. I've been working with it for about half an hour now. I can't seem to figure out. We got to fold it. Yeah, but you fold it. Everything has to be folded. And I don't want this. I want large bread.
The little itty-bitty sandwiches in the green room.
Yeah, that's my...
So my 2 favorite Spinal Tap things. First of all, I used to have a band called The New Originals, which was a Spinal Tap reference. Which
came out of The Creatures, right?
Yeah, but my favorite Spinal Tap moment in my life was actually my wedding day.
Oh, really?
Because when my wife and I got married, we rented out a rock venue to get married in because, that's, I guess, kind of fits us.
That's very cool.
And there was a whole second event space down the hall in this facility that we were told was going to be like a high school reunion. And so, we expect people in suits, and some turn left and some turn right, and, Ginsberg wedding and whatever it is, high school reunion. And so we got married in Birmingham, Alabama, because that's where my wife is from originally, and that's where like her family was coming from, and my family had to fly in. So when we got there, we said, well, what's going on the night before the wedding? Maybe we could like point our friends to check out the goings on around town and maybe check out a concert at that venue if there is one. And just looking at it, I saw the next day there was a cage match. And I thought that was a mistake, but at that point it was a little too late to call anybody. So the next morning, the day of my wedding, we get to the venue, and I asked the woman, so I noticed the website may have a little typo. It says there's a cage match here today. And she said, oh no, there's a cage match. I said, but I thought there was a high school reunion. She said, they wound up moving to the hotel downtown, so we booked that room as a cage match. So when people came in, it says cage match to the left, Ginsberg wedding to the right, and if I've told them once, I've told them 1,000 times. It's Ginsberg wedding on top, cage match second.
And there's your Spinal Tap.
That is my Spinal Tap moment of my life.
Now, for those who don't know, that's Puppet Show on top. Spinal Tap. No, Spinal Tap and then Puppet Show.
Right. Spinal Tap and then Puppet Show. So, guys, we've invited you both here today to play the movie game 5 to 9, where you'll have to connect 2 actors through no fewer than 5 and no more than 9 movies. Here's how we're going to play. Before our show, we asked you to both write down names of 5 actors. We put those names in a hat, and now we're going to randomly draw 2 of them that you're going to have to connect. So the idea is at least one of you should know who at least one of these people is, because you're the ones who came up with them. So our first name that we're going to put right there on your pad in the from spot, we are going from Jennifer Aniston. So grab a pen, grab your pad, and for those of you listeners at home in our from spot, we're going to put Jennifer Aniston. And in our to spot, we're trying to connect from Jennifer Aniston to, let's see, who do I get over here? It's folded, it's tight, it's Adrien Brody. Adrien Brody, one of the very few people to ever get banned from Saturday Night Live.
Oh, I did not
because
know that.
he introduced a Jamaican rapper in patois, like this kind of like really kind of like racist situation. And Lorne Michaels never again is going to allow him to be on the show, because you're not allowed to ad lib on SNL. You got to do it right or else.
Wow.
Now we're going to draw another name right now, and that name is going to be our wild card. If you can go through the wild card, that's going to be worth 3 bonus points, and our wild card is going to be, I gotta make sure I'm kind of spreading the opportunity around. Oh, you know what? I am getting both you guys in here. So yeah, our wild card is going to be Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, speaking of SNL, auditioned for SNL but did not get the part. But since then, he's hosted the show 3 times. And he says it's getting really hard to do because all the writers want to write this, like, in living color, very physical comedy. And he's not that age anymore, and it's getting hard to do. But, he still has a good time. So, one more thing we're going to do. We're going to spin our house rules wheel. Catherine, I'm going to give you the honors. Spin the wheel on the house rules. Give it a spin. Tick, 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 tick. It does not make the good sound. But, oh, you know what? It's because the sound button's not pressed. Oh, but there we go. Okay, British actors. Our wild card today is British actors. If we can go through a British actor, every British actor you go through is going to be worth 1 bonus point. So let's keep that in mind as we play. Catherine, Don, you're going to be playing together. I'll be here on the sidelines to offer some help along the way, but not too much help. Are you guys ready to play the game?
Maybe so.
Yes, I guess so.
Your trepidation says everything. And of course, as always, I'm going to apologize in advance to the actors who spent a career building a body of work whose faces we know, but whose names we may butcher, and to all the hardworking writers, directors, and producers who picked the perfect name for a film that we may likely fumble through. I swear we really do love your work. So, guys, we're going to play the game. We're putting Jennifer Aniston in our from spot. Let's start just kind of talking through Jennifer Aniston movies, and we'll see where we wind up. Talk it through.
What was that movie that she was in? Wasn't she in a movie where it was a bunch of friends and they would kill people they didn't like and they buried them in the? Was that a different movie?
That got dark fast. I don't know, but I will mention the perennial wild card, whether we draw him or not, for 2 points is Kevin Bacon, and she was in a movie with Kevin Bacon.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, she was.
Because everyone knows her friends and stuff like that, but then there's other movies. And,
Right. The
She's in
dark
so many
side
movies.
of Friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. There was that movie though, and I forget what the name of the movie was.
I can't recall her murdering anybody in a movie, but you could be right.
Yeah. It's more like a dark comedy, sort of.
Yeah, I don't think that was The Good Girl.
No. That was not the good Jennifer Aniston.
No.
Let's see here.
Can you guys recall the movie she was in with Kevin Bacon? If not, don't sweat it and just keep moving.
What was that?
She was in a movie with Jim Carrey, who's our wild card today.
They were in.
They just keep pairing her with different comedic men. And they just keep giving her second billing to all of them. But what was she in with Jim Carrey?
They were a couple.
They were.
Oh,
Okay.
I was half guessing.
She saw the movie. She walked out of the movie now.
Yeah.
What was that? I think I've only seen really one other Jennifer Aniston movie. And
Which one?
and I don't know what the name was. But I sort of remember what. Oh, yes, go ahead.
Me, Myself, and Irene.
She was not on Me, Myself, and Irene. That was actually Renee Zellweger with Jim Carrey.
Sorry, Renee.
But wasn't Morgan
married too,
Freeman
weren't
in Me, Myself, and Irene? And wasn't Morgan Freeman also in a movie with Jim Carrey and Jennifer Aniston?
Yes, Man.
No, I know what it is. No, Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty,
Okay.
that'll do it. So Yes Man was a really good movie, but that one had what's her face? She's adorkable. She was in The New Girl, Zooey Deschanel.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zoe. Huh.
Yeah, but okay, so let's do Bruce Almighty and get straight to our wild card of Jim Carrey, and that kind of saves us some work and gets you some points on the board real fast.
Sure.
So we got Jim Carrey. Now we have to get to Adrien Brody. So maybe kind of work backwards. What are some movies Adrien Brody's in, and kind of work backwards from there?
Okay, we got The Pianist.
Sure.
We got what was it? Cadillac Records.
Oh, Cadillac Records was great. Beyonce produced Cadillac Records
did?
because she wanted to play Etta James so
right.
badly. And Mos Def, he went by Mos Def at the time, played Chuck Berry, and Jeff Wright played Muddy Waters. That was a great movie.
Oh, yeah, that was a great movie, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, what else was Adrien Brody in? There's another, oh, you know what he was into? What was that Spike Lee movie? Summer of '77. Summer of Sam.
Summer of Sam.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
I admit I've only ever heard of it.
But there's some other, who was else in Summer of Sam?
Lots of people were in Summer of
Yeah,
Sam.
we got to get some relation there. You know? And even Cadillac Records, there's definitely a lot of.
Oh, so many people. So many people.
Ooh, I feel super helpful.
Well, I'm sure in The
gotta
Pianist there are a lot of British actors, too.
I'll bet, if you can get there.
Just going to think of who was in it.
Who can we get to? From Adrien Brody, yeah, you got Summer of Sam. You guys remember anybody else in Summer of Sam?
Nope.
No.
No
nobody.
clues, Eric?
I mean, you know, we're talking it through. I got to figure out how bad you are before I start throwing out clues.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very
You know, it's funny. I remember the movies. I'm trying to think of the other actors and actresses. There was an actress in there, the blonde hair one. That
the
was.
blonde.
Oh, you know what? It was the guy in The Pest. What was that guy's name again?
Yes, he was in The Pest. He was in the remake of The Pest.
Yes. The guy. Now he does these "I Love New York" commercials. I see
I'll
his
bet
face.
he does. He's in so many
Oh,
movies.
yes, he is.
He started a
And
long
actually,
time
I always
ago.
thought he was more of a comic, but he's not. He's a very serious actor.
He does both. He does
Oh,
both.
what's his name?
He had Freak TV on Fox
Yeah.
when they wanted to do more shows like In Living Color.
What is
he
that
was the
guy's
star of Freak
name?
TV.
And he's probably there's got to be a connection there. But what is that guy's
So
name?
many connections.
And the blonde that played his wife in there. Who was that? It wasn't Carmen Diaz, was it? No. I don't think
Cameron
so.
Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. No.
I honest to God cannot recall who played the wife in Summer of Sam. I don't think they were married. They were dating.
They were dating,
But she
yeah.
dyed her hair blonde during the
what's his
movie.
name? I keep thinking that.
But I forget who it was.
What is that guy's name?
Yes, that guy.
Catherine, help
in
us out
Summer
here.
of
the
Sam.
guy, Mr.
Mr. So and So. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, He's,
Well, we don't have to go through that.
Leguizamo. John Leguizamo.
There we go.
That's
John
it.
Leguizamo.
Okay.
Sure. Keep working.
So let's see. Who was
We
John?
got
John Leguizamo with anything with Jim?
He's in so
Adrien
many.
Brody or
we
Jim
we
Carrey?
don't want to go straight to Jim Carrey
Yeah.
because if we do it in too few movies. We need at least 5 movies.
Yeah.
So just kind of
Okay.
wander around. Okay, so John Leguizamo, what was he in?
Yeah,
I need major help.
He was. Wasn't John Leguizamo also in not Casino? What was one of those?
It doesn't help the podcast when you tap the table.
Yes,
though,
I know.
just
Yeah.
FYI.
I'm pounding on the table.
Aggressive thinking.
Let me just tap the mic
Yeah,
while I'm at it. Is this thing
is it
on?
working? Yes. It was a movie. Adrien Brody was in that movie too. He was actually he was shot by Joe Pesci. In it was the not L.A. Confidential. What was the? It was one of those movies that had Robert De Niro in it, Joe Pesci. And it wasn't Casino.
Oh, where the guy gets stabbed with a pen in the car?
No, that was the.
In Casino, he stabs the guy with the pen, but
Yeah.
that was like in a diner, wasn't it? But I remember him like just stabbing the guy
Yeah.
with the pen.
But Adrien Brody was also in that movie too, and I think.
I don't recall Adrien Brody in Casino, but
No,
then
not
again,
Casino. It
I was
it a
making
movie
out with
like
a
that.
girl
It
the
was
whole
with-
time I was
It
watching.
was a movie with Ray Liotta in it.
Yeah, okay, so
The one where he was telling a story.
there is no way that Adrien
Okay.
Brody was in that movie.
No,
with
he was.
Ray
He was the guy
Liotta.
that was shot by Joe Pesci.
Oh, John Leguizamo, you're saying?
No, I think it was Adrien Brody was in the movie.
No
too.
way, Adrien Brody.
Oh,
Adrien
okay.
Brody was like
My
5
Uncle
years old when that movie came
Tino.
out.
My Uncle Nino. My uncle. Oh my gosh.
You had an uncle?
So embarrassing.
Uncle Tio? Was it Uncle Tio? Because Tio is Spanish for uncle.
That's
Oh, yeah.
true.
So that's like Uncle.
But there's like courthouse scene.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. No, we're really going off on tangent here. So John Leguizamo might have been in that
I mean,
movie,
you
but
can
I
get from
think it
John
was-
Leguizamo to a lot of people.
Eric said when I said courthouse.
Yeah.
Sure.
Courtroom.
Go for it.
What was that movie? It was a Ray Liotta movie though, where he's telling the story. It's like. I know you can't give us clues.
I mean, I can't.
You know what movie it is.
The
though.
only movie I can think of Ray Liotta narrating also starred
Yes.
Joe Pesci, but did not have
Adrien Brody,
and I doubt it had John Leguizamo. John Leguizamo was way too young then.
Yeah.
Not my uncle. My cousin. something.
My cousin Vinny.
Okay.
My cousin Vinny.
Okay, which starred
Okay.
literally none of the people we're talking about right now. But let's see where we can go with that. Can we build on
Well,
that?
Herman
man.
Munster was in it. What's his name? Fred Gwynn.
Yeah, he was the judge.
Oh shoot.
And so was who's the young guy? You know, that's one of the movies I never seen. I've never seen that movie.
Yeah?
But we do have in that movie.
You've got to watch My Cousin Vinny.
Oh yeah, it's a great.
one of
yeah.
those things.
Well, it has the girl who won the Academy Award,
She did win an Academy
Yes.
Award Best Supporting Actress for My Cousin Vinny, and her name is...
and she was in Seinfeld. And George was. That's going on TV now, though. But
I don't recall that.
yes, she was.
I believe you.
George
I-
had a fantasy where
So you never saw My Cousin Vinny. I never
Yes.
watched Seinfeld.
you never
I
watched. It's a show about nothing.
2 episodes, and I was like, all right, I get it. They're bad people. I'm over it. I'm done. But
Marissa Tomei. That was
if she was in it. But anyway, that's a TV show.
TV show,
So
you know.
work it around. We're trying to get from Jim Carrey to Adrien Brody. Yes, you can use John Leguizamo from Summer of
Yes.
Sam if you know where you're going, or anybody else in a movie with Adrien Brody. He was in a movie once called The Heights, but I can't recall anybody else in that one.
No.
I'm
Yeah.
no good for that.
It wasn't called The Heights. It was something Heights.
Heights was a TV show.
Yeah, it was something Heights.
Brooklyn
It was-
Heights?
No, it wasn't Brooklyn Heights. It was like about like a bunch of Jewish kids growing up in New York in like the 50s or 60s.
West
And I
Side Story.
forget-
Wuthering Heights.
No, not Wuthering Heights.
I regret everything that I'm saying here, but at least you are laughing.
That's good.
So where are we going to go on this one?
Oh, okay.
We got somewhat of a ticking clock in that we're not going to
Right.
play forever. So
I'll just tell you that I don't know Summer of Sam, so that's where I completely.
do you know
blank.
John Leguizamo?
No.
Because I can rattle off about half a dozen John Leguizamo films, but we can go with other people.
Oh yeah.
We don't have to go from Adrien Brody there. We did mention some other Adrien Brody films.
Well, Beyonce was in Cadillac Records with him, playing Etta James, and of course she was in the Austin Powers, the third one, right? So
Just
Austin Powers.
the second one. Was it the third one?
The third one, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Heather Graham was in the second one. Beyonce was
So
in the
who
third
was
one.
in the
sure.
third one? And of course, the only one I only saw the first two Austin Power movies.
Well,
so
I'll
that
give you a
doesn't help me
hint.
out at all.
The same people.
Oh, okay.
The same
Well, we got
people.
Mike Myers,
Yeah,
of course.
they just gave him another part to play. He
So how is
played-
Mike Myers related to Jennifer Aniston?
Well, we have to get to Jim Carrey,
yes,
remember.
right,
We have to
yeah.
go into Jim Carrey. So we can go, okay, so we're working backwards. Adrien Brody was in Cadillac Records with Beyonce, who is in Austin Powers in Goldmember
Yes.
with Mike Myers. Can we get from Mike Myers to Jim Carrey? You know, the two of them share a dubious distinction. After Jim Carrey made The Grinch, they really wanted to make another like that, and so they made that awful Mike Myers Cat in the Hat movie, and they just tried to really Grinch it up, and it wasn't any good.
I remember seeing ads for it, but I never saw the movie.
Yeah.
I never saw that either.
Yeah, well, you saved yourself a good
Okay.
90 minutes of pain.
I was too scared to.
Too scared to watch The
Oh,
Cat in the
really?
Hat. I mean, he was scary.
Yeah.
He was yelling and huge. So, okay, so how do we get from Mike Myers to Jim Carrey? There's got to be a good connection
yeah.
here. These two very funny men. Also, if we can go through Mike Myers, we're going to get that bonus point on SNL cast members.
Oh, wow. There's a lot more bonus points than I thought.
Oh, yeah, it's all down here at the bottom of the card.
I didn't even read that. Okay,
Yeah, there's a
that's,
whole thing for the rules. So what are we doing here? How are we going to get
Okay.
from Mike Myers to Jim Carrey? There's got to be a way to
One
do
of the
it.
Mike Myers movies. Well, there's, of course, the... I was going to say Bill and Ted's Excellent. That's not.
No.
That's a... Dude, who's that guy? No, but let's see, Mike Myers, the movie with Dana Carvey.
Sure.
Don't know.
I love that Don is struggling to remember the name, and Catherine is
It's
just
just-
like,
I don't
I've
know.
never seen. I feel like once we say the name, you're gonna be like, okay, I know.
Yes,
this
it's
movie.
Yeah, totally.
excellent. It was, and if I'm trying to actually see the things.
You're
in
like
the movie.
literally singing the theme song.
Wayne's
Maybe-
World?
There
Wayne's
you go.
World,
See,
yes.
you knew.
Okay, she's got it.
You knew,
Ooh, yeah.
Catherine.
I know all the movies.
You know all of them.
Okay, so in Wayne's World,
Okay.
they had Rob Lowe was in there too. So let's,
Sure was.
Let's see who is he related to Jim Carrey in some way? He might be.
What about
Don't know. You know, Rob Lowe was also in Austin Powers. He played the young number 2, but that was in the first Austin
Oh, yeah.
Powers. What about? Go ahead, hit me.
Dana? Right?
Dana Carvey.
Sure.
Okay.
Dana Carvey does not have a huge movie career, but he
Yeah.
had the very, I guess, ahead of its time, the Dana Carvey show for like 8 episodes maybe that aired on ABC.
And Jim Carrey was on the
which-
show. Okay, but
No, he wasn't actually, but it did have both Stephen Colbert and Steve Carell.
Oh yeah.
Oh, all the Steves.
And all the Steves before they
Can
were
we- can we-
famous.
can we use shows like that, or does it have to be
huge.
movies?
No, it's got to be movies.
gotta be movies,
It's got to be
okay.
movies. But yeah, I mean, you can go through Dana Carvey, or you can go through who else can we go through? You can go to Wayne's World or any other Mike Myers film.
Yeah. What was the axe murderer one? I married an axe
Oh, I
murderer.
loved that one.
And who was in that movie?
Who was in that movie? Indeed.
I did not see the movie.
Oh, that's unfortunate. You're missing a great movie.
See, I know. I see lots of commercials though. Of who's in
Yeah,
it.
that's fair. That's
The
fair.
commercials are great.
Yeah.
That
in
movie
general.
was set in San Francisco, one of the few movies set in the Bay areas, set in the Bay Area, and there's so many great small parts in that movie, like when they take a tour of Alcatraz, the guy giving them the tour. I mean, I can tell it to you, but you know. I'm going to tell it to you is Phil Hartman, who was just phenomenal in that role. But yeah, so how are we going to get from Mike Myers to Jim Carrey? Talk it through. Jim Carrey movies, Mike Myers movies, who was in them?
Ace Ventura was Cameron Diaz was in that movie.
Cameron Diaz was not on that. She was in
No,
a
she
different.
was-
She was in Jim Carrey's next movie.
Okay.
Courtney Cox from
That's
Friends.
right. Okay, yes. Okay, I'm
Jim Carrey
confused.
kind of worked his way through the Friends. Never got to Lisa Kudrow though.
Yeah, I did. Very interesting enough is that okay, so we had Courtney Cox then was in Ace Ventura.
She was.
So we can get to Jennifer Aniston that way.
Well, we started with Jennifer Aniston.
There's a connection right there.
Yeah, but we're trying
Oh,
to
we
go.
gotta get to Jim Carrey
Yeah,
first.
we're,
Okay,
we're trying
so
to
we
go to
know
Adrien Brody.
we got the back end of the connection. We just need the middle.
No, actually, we went the wrong way and we haven't connected it yet. So yeah. So how
So
do we
Jim
go?
Carrey to Mike Myers.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Can you do it? It definitely helps when you sing.
Well, I'm sure Kevin Bacon had to be in a movie somewhere. So
Yeah, probably. I can't.
even in an uncredited role.
Maybe. Who do we have? I'm going to cut all this out later. It's going to be great. I'm just going to snip it, and you're going to sound like you got the answer
really know
lightning
the stuff.
fast.
Awesome.
You're like, wow, she does know all the movies.
I watch movies every day.
Twice a day.
You know, the most place I see movies now, believe it or not, is on an airplane.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You fly a lot?
Yeah, well, I haven't lately, but that's the only place I really get to see movies.
Yeah.
It's just too expensive in the theaters now.
It does. It's like $20 to go see a movie. Insane. That's why I like the on-demand, and I like. I mean, obviously, you know, we got like Netflix and we got Amazon Prime. We have so many options to watch movies.
Right.
But sometimes I just like flipping through like the cable on-demand free stuff. I find a lot of times those are like the A-list movies that I missed at the time, but I got to watch commercials and like, all right, fine, whatever.
Yeah. A few months after the fact.
Deal me in. So how do we get from Jim Carrey to Mike Myers?
One of the movies, Mike Myers. Oh, Mike Myers. What was the one? No, I'm confusing myself now.
Just go for it. Be wrong.
Be wrong. Didn't you have something to do with a movie with Tom Hanks? No, now you know.
Think it through. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking of Mike Myers movies. I haven't seen too many besides. I saw the two Wayne's World ones.
Sure, there's
I
both
saw
of those.
two Austin Power ones.
There's 3 of those. Sure.
There's I Married a Max Murderer.
Yeah, great movie.
I gotta see that now. Now that you got a recommendation, I'll have to see it.
Oh, it's great.
He
was afraid she would cleave him.
And who was the person in that movie? Is there? I wonder if there's a connection from another actor in that movie.
I mean, I know who's in that movie.
Yeah.
I can't think of the connection off the top of my head, though. I can't.
In Wayne's World, they had a lot of cameos, though, too.
You know what?
Robert Stack. Is there any connection to Robert Stack?
Maybe we just list some Jim Carrey movies. He had so many movies with so many.
What was the one after Ace Ventura is the one I saw on the plane, by the way. That was the one with Cameron Diaz in it.
Sure.
What was that movie?
What was he wearing in it?
That was The Mask.
There you go.
The Mask. Very good. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I was picturing him twitching, and I was like, I don't remember why he was doing that, but
So, okay.
that was The Mask.
Cameron Diaz. Sure. Was Cameron Diaz in a movie with any of these other people we're talking about right now?
Cameron Diaz.
Well, she was in. She was in. Wait.
I'm waiting.
Here. No, she was in the Gangs in New York.
She
with
was?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
If only you'd been
and
here
Daniel
for our last
Day-Lewis.
episode, because we could have used you for that Leonardo DiCaprio bonus point. But that was then, this is now.
Yeah.
So sure. Where are you going? Keep it going.
I'm just seeing who's in the movie. Who else was in that movie?
And, we can get to Beyonce somehow if you want.
Maybe Beyonce was Beyonce in Gangs in New York? I don't remember her being there.
No.
But Gangs of New York had a lot of characters, and I just don't know all the names of the actors.
It
But
did.
obviously, Daniel Day-Lewis, one of the greatest actors of all time.
One of your favorites. You'll watch anything he's in.
Oh, he's great. Yeah. But I can't think of Mike Myers being in any Daniel Day-Lewis movies or.
Daniel Day-Lewis just disappears into the role.
Yeah,
you can't even.
Lincoln,
he's just
with
gone.
Lincoln. Wait, he was in Lincoln
With
a bunch of people.
who played Mary Todd Lincoln?
Oh, that was Sally Fields.
It
right?
was. Keep going.
It was
I don't know where he's going, but I'm encouraging it.
Norma Ray. No, that's too old for. What else was she in? Sally. Well, Norma Ray actually, but she was also the Flying Nun.
Sure. A long time ago,
Yes, but
she
I don't think any of
was.
those other actors were in there at the time. Connect.
Come on, what else was she in? You got this. You're so close.
Was she in the movie with Dustin Hoffman? No, was that someone else?
I can't think of one they were in together.
No. Okay, but we could have a connection here if we can find that
Maybe.
movie that Sally Fields was in.
I honest to God have no idea where they're going. I'm trying to be really supportive right now.
Well, who else was in it? Who's the guy that was on Third Rock from the Sun? That the kid.
Oh.
He's not kid anymore.
He was in that movie with. No.
Yeah, you got it. Come on, keep going.
This is go. Yes.
Who was the kid in Third Rock from the Sun?
Was that kid?
Gordon Levitt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I was
There you
gonna say
go.
he was in a movie
Okay.
with Zoe Deschanel.
With what?
With
Zoe
Zoe
Deschanel.
Deschanel.
Sure, they were in 500 Days of Summer, and you just managed to go from Jim Carrey back to Jim Carrey.
Oy.
Well, hold on. How did we get to Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
We got that from Lincoln. He was in Lincoln.
He was in Lincoln
and then he was
with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis, who was in
who was in Gangs of
Gangs
New
of New
York
York with Carmen.
with Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey was in.
No, I'm sorry, with Cameron
Cameron
Diaz.
Cameron Diaz, who's in a movie with Jim Carrey.
Right. So we just went from Jim Carrey to Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Ay, ay, ay.
That's unfortunate. We were so close, but we have to
yes.
get to Adrien Brody.
Adrien Brody. Okay.
Adrien Brody, if you're listening, we are sorry.
We're sorry.
Well, let's see. Cadillac Records had a lot of people.
That man
in.
has an Academy Award.
Yes. I remember that's when he kissed Halle Berry, and she wiped it off. I remember that. I was like, wow, that was an insult there.
He probably deserved it, though.
But Adrien Brody, there were a lot of people in Cadillac. Probably in The Pianist, there's a lot of
I don't know
more
anybody who was
international
I never
actors,
saw The
yeah.
Pianist.
Oh,
And he won the Academy Award for it, but
That's
I
probably
didn't see it.
one of my favorites of all time.
Well, who was in it?
That's the thing is most of the people are actors from other countries. It's done in Poland, so
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's all British actors, so you don't know their
Yeah,
names
yeah.
because they're not in English?
yes. Well, it's an English. Yes, right. But there's some British actors. They always have British actors play everything, So
Yep.
whenever you see any type of World War II stuff, it always has the British actors doing German accents, So, but who is? But the Cadillac Records had
Believe it or not, all the American characters are also British actors doing American accents
That's right.
these days.
That's true. Yeah.
So,
Outsourcing.
But Cadillac Records, we had as Mos Def was in there.
yeah, Mos Def was in there.
I don't know who.
What else was Mos Def in? Mos Def has been in a couple of movies. Can we get anywhere?
Think of other movies. I'm sure I've seen him, and he's
I
he's
could go through a
he's one of those
director,
characters like Leon that was in all these different things, and you don't know that
Okay.
Was Mos Def in was he in the Temptations movie
I don't recall.
or the Five Heartbeats or something like that?
I don't recall. I'd have to look that one up, and that'd be cheating.
Yeah, we can't do that.
No,
We're very honest here on this show.
we are.
Here. I'm super honest about my.
Yes. This
Lack of
is an
knowledge.
integrity show.
Were any of them in Spice World?
Wow.
That's a good-
Because
Hmm.
I'll tell you, Meatloaf was in Wayne's World.
Meatloaf was.
Meatloaf was in Wayne. He was the bouncer at the club right at the beginning of the movie.
So let's see what else. Meatloaf is also in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Sure, but we're gonna have a really hard time.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Let's see if we can go back to Cadillac
Wait,
Records.
I mean-
what movie?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
So Steve Martin?
Steve Martin was
No.
not in Rocky Horror Picture Show. But
Oh my
Steve
gosh.
Martin was in a movie with Beyonce. Can you get from Steve Martin to Jim Carrey?
Holy snakes.
Well, I can get to Steve Martin, and my favorite is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and he was in that.
With our
Giant-
perennial wild card, Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon was in there, uncredited.
He was the cab
In fact,
driver.
that was one of my. He was actually fighting for the cabbage, running down the street. And that was one of my favorite uncredited roles of all time. Kevin Bacon.
That's right. He wasn't the driver. He was the guy fighting for
Yes.
the cab.
And you just saw his eyes smiling when he ran for the cab.
So how are we going to get from Jim Carrey?
That was interesting.
Let's do that again. So how are we going to get from Jim Carrey to any of that? Jim Carrey's in so many movies with so many famous people.
Well, who's in Ace Ventura? There was another with Jeff Daniels, wasn't it? No, that was Dumb and Dumber.
Jeff Daniels was in Dumb and Dumber,
Yes.
sure.
Oh.
Keep going.
Who else was in? Who was Jeff Daniels in the movies?
The guy's got an Academy
Yeah.
Award.
Sorry, Jeff.
At least you remember that you were in Ace Ventura.
He was.
No, the Dumb and Dumber. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
and
he
Dumb
was-
and Dumber 2.
That's true. Dumb and Dumberer.
Dumb and Dumberer. Yeah, maybe that was it.
Or was that? Or was
favorite word,
so?
dumber.
There were 3 Dumb and Dumber movies. There was the original one. There was one where they tried to do like a prequel where Harry met Lloyd. They tried doing a bunch of Jim Carrey sequels without him. They did an Ace Ventura movie with like Ace Ventura Jr. with like a kid who was a pet detective. They tried doing a Mask sequel with Jamie Kennedy that tanked hard. They did a Dumb and Dumber prequel. Like, they were just so starved, and Jim Carrey wouldn't do it. And then he did the Dumb and Dumber sequel. And to be honest, I can't recall whether it was Dumb and Dumberer was the prequel or whether that was the prequel and then like Dumb and Dumber, like, oh, they spelled it like T-O-O or something like that, or T-O. That's how they made it sure that we knew it was dumb.
By the way, we did going backwards. We did go from Jennifer Aniston and Jim Carrey in Bruce Almighty, right?
Sure, that's where we started.
That's where we started.
Jennifer
Okay, I'm
Aniston.
forgetting.
I
It
mean,
seems
are you
so
writing
long.
this stuff down?
Yeah, it seems so long ago.
Absolutely.
Oh, we did have
So
it.
we
have
got
3
Jennifer
things
Aniston was in
written
Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey, who
Wait,
was
Morgan Freeman was in that movie, too.
He was, but Jim Carrey's our wild card.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you really do want to get those points if you can get them. I mean, you don't have to. You can leave those points behind.
We can be sad.
Yeah, we're trying to get to Jennifer Aniston and Adrien Brody. And we did say... now, I forgot the name from Summer of Sam.
Yeah, well, you're trying to get
John
from
Leguizamo.
John
yeah.
Leguizamo,
Yeah,
sure.
Can't get that one either. But Adrien Brody, let's go back to, we got Beyonce in Cadillac
Okay.
Records. We had Mos Def. We had...
Well, hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
We had the guy who played Willie Dixon was... the guy that was on Martin, that TV show.
Something Hutton. No, not Timothy Hutton's an
No.
entirely different person.
Yes.
Rock. He played Rock, didn't he?
No, it was Cedric the Entertainer, didn't he?
Oh,
play?
I don't recall.
No, I think it was Cedric the Entertainer was Willie Dixon.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. But now it's going really off.
Yeah.
So.
Now we're kind of getting everywhere. You know, Jeffrey Wright, who played Muddy Waters, has been in a lot of movies. Another one who really disappears into a role.
Oh, yeah.
Can you recall any movies he was in? Can you picture him?
I can't.
Jeffrey Wright.
I saw that
unfortunate.
movie 10 years ago in the theaters, actually.
Oh, I saw it like late night on cable.
So that's the best place to see it. 'Cause you can watch it
Jeffrey
over
Wright
and over.
was in. He was in a couple of Hunger Games movies. He was in the movie W, where he played Colin Powell.
Do you know Hunger Games?
I saw one.
Okay, so think of
them.
him.
The
He was in
first
Cadillac Records with Adrien Brody. So what was if he was in a Hunger Games movie? Maybe we can make.
He was not in the first one, but he was one of like the old winners they brought back for like the 75th Hunger Games.
Oh, shoot.
So he was in like Catching Fire and Mockingbird, Mockingjay or Mockingbird.
Mockingjay.
Well, definitely Catching Fire. So we got at least one there. So where are we going right now?
If I knew his face, I could help.
Okay. So how do we get to Jim Carrey?
Can you make like an imitation of his face?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so
That would
Jim
be
Carrey,
racist.
A different route from Jim Carrey.
Uh-huh.
Come on,
We can
there's
br-
another
we
movie
can
that
bring
he was
this
in.
home.
There's like something.
Maybe we should go back to Jennifer Aniston and see if there's
Maybe.
Maybe we have to go another.
Skip Jim Carrey altogether.
I mean, then you're
Try
going to lose the
that.
3 points, but you can do it. It's a
Yeah.
shame to have gotten there so fast and for him to be in. Just start rattling off Jim Carrey movies. Just name all the Jim Carrey movies you can. Shout them out.
Oh, we got the
The Truman
Grinch.
Show,
Truman
Sure.
Show. Oh,
Great
yeah.
one.
Grinch,
Keep going.
Grinch.
Ace Ventura,
Mm-hmm.
The Mask,
Mm-hmm.
Yes Man.
I never saw Yes Man. I didn't even know that was a movie.
Uh,
Oh, what was the one where he was? That was the Truman Show, right? When they did about his life. Okay.
Yes. Liar, Liar.
Cable, the Cable Man, or something. There was
Cable
Cable
Guy.
Cable Guy, yeah.
Sure.
Guy.
Sure. So can we get any of these actors in any of these movies? Because there's so many of them. In fact, there's a super direct connection. If you go through Cable Guy, if you can go through Cable Guy, who else is in Cable Guy?
I
Think
don't
about
know.
it.
All I remember is he climbed up a tower.
He did this big satellite dish. But there's a scene where he plays basketball in Cable Guy. Do you recall with whom he plays basketball? A guy who's very well known as a musician as well as a very comedic actor.
Jack Black.
Jack Black. Sure, he's in Cable Guy.
Wait, Jack Black. Is there any
Whoa.
connection to Jack Black? Isn't Jack Black and Jennifer Aniston? Weren't they in a?
Well, that's the wrong direction,
Oh, yeah.
though, because we're trying to get to Adrien
Oh, yeah.
Brody. You know, Jack Black was actually a child actor. He was in the Never-Ending Story 2 or 3,
okay.
I think the third one,
Never-ending
playing like one of the thugs. Disappointingly, the series did come to an end. I was really let down by that. But okay, so Jack Black, I had a thought earlier, and it involved Jack Black. And if I can get my brain back to where it was, go for
Oh,
it.
she's got it.
Panda.
Go
Kung
on.
Fu Panda.
Okay, what
Okay.
about the Kung Fu Panda?
There's got to be a ton of people in that.
Sure are. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Some of them even do Kung Fu.
I've actually never. Oh,
Not really, they're cartoons.
okay. I thought you meant like the voice actors actually do.
Not a chance.
Okay, I was tricked.
Not a
What was it?
chance.
School of Rock? Who was the one that played the principal?
Oh, she's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
She's phenomenal.
What's that? And she's a sister of another famous actor.
Actually, two, but really one more famous one.
I don't remember that
Okay.
character.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I like that movie. That was a good movie. And also, and we got Dave Grohl's connection with the Pick of Destiny.
Sure, he was in
Jack
that,
Black
but
in that.
what other movies was he in? I can only think of one other movie with Dave Grohl in it. I would personally give you a bonus point if you can go through Dave Grohl, just because he's that awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I will make up a rule to give you an extra point.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, so
But there were a lot of people in Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
yeah.
A lot of people, including the person who directed Cable Guy. Not that we need to go through him, but we're trying to get to Adrien Brody and our thoughts on Adrien Brody. Just to kind of recap, we had John Leguizamo in Summer of Sam, which was a Spike Lee joint. We had Cadillac Records. Oh, I remember exactly where my brain was going, because Mos Def was in a movie with Jack Black.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it didn't do that well. It was a Michel Gondry film. And Michel Gondry also made a Jim Carrey movie, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind,
yeah,
which is
that's
a
right.
phenomenal movie. But do you recall the movie he made with Jack Black and Mos Def? I'll give you a hint. It is a little anachronistic in that they were still working in a video store with VHS tapes long after
wasn't
VHS
Clerks.
was gone. What did they always tell you at Blockbuster when you would
Rewind. Something
yeah, come on. What's the phrase? You got it.
Something rewind.
Yes.
Always rewind? No, that's what they want you to do.
They wanted you to be away and rewind.
Be away and rewind.
Yeah. They want you to be something. How can you behave?
To be a
Be polite and rewind.
I'll give you a hint. It rhymed with rewind.
Be kind and rewind.
kind and
Be
rewind.
kind. Yeah,
Oh,
there
yes,
we
okay,
go.
okay.
All right, it'll kind of help you out there.
Oh,
but
Eric's the best.
so be kind, rewind with Mos Def. Oh no, I feel like we've just lost the game. He was in Cadillac Records.
Cadillac Records.
Oh no, with Adrien Brody, and we did it in
Records.
only 4 moves.
Oh, you have to do it
guys.
between 5 and 9. Oh, we blew it.
Oh, we did. We blew it.
We
And
blew
I feel
it.
like I
We
led you down
stink.
this path of despair.
Oh.
I led you to
No.
ruin. I have no one to blame but myself. But you know what?
You can blame us.
You know what? You know what? We can, if we can just squeeze in one extra step instead of going Jim Carrey and Cable Guy with Jack Black.
Okay.
If we can, who directed Cable Guy? He was in it. He had a very small part. He played twins. They were a spoof on the Menendez brothers, and it was like a little running
John
joke
Leguizamo.
on the It was on the TV the whole time. Throughout the whole movie, but he directed this movie, and then he also had a small part. He's the one who told them about the Pick of Destiny.
Oh,
He had
wait.
crazy chops and long hair in the Pick of Destiny.
I know the.
Who was the
face.
Guitar Center guy? We're going the extra step.
Yes, the Guitar Center guy.
Who was the guy? We can do this. We can finish this
Yes.
right now if you can remember who told them about the Pick of Destiny.
Could we get what else he directed?
Sure, he directed Reality Bites.
Oh, that no, that's not.
He directed The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. He directed Tropic Thunder, and he also starred in those movies.
Oy.
Yes. The guy.
Sandler?
No, not Sand. No, who's the guy? Stiller. Ben Stiller.
There we go.
Ben
And
Stiller.
that's going to be a win.
Yes.
We did it. We've done it. It's
Ben Stiller.
happened. Okay.
Okay.
Let's take a brand new card because we've made a mess. Let's
Get
jot all
exhausted.
this down. Hold on, guys. We're going to put this in the W column. So we're going to go from Jennifer Aniston. I'm writing out the full name like it matters. We're going from Jennifer Aniston to Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey, who was in Cable Guy, which was a really great dark comedy, with Ben Stiller, who was in Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, with Jack Black, who was in Be Kind, Rewind with Mos Def, who, by the way, was also in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, yes, with Johnny
some
Depp.
British actors, not Johnny
No,
Depp.
who was it? I'm thinking of another one. What's the...
Mos Def was in Cadillac Records with Adrien Brody. We did it. We've done it. We managed to salvage this episode and win the game. I'm so proud of you all.
Thanks.
So, guys,
And
we're
it was
going
all
to
done through
total up.
teamwork, too,
It
which was
was.
great.
We're going to total up the points at the bottom. 10 minus the number of movies. We had 5 movies, so that's going to get us 5 points. We went through the wild card. Did we get any British actors? I don't see one in here, but we did use an SNL cast member. Hold on. But we did use an SNL cast member because do that again. But we did use an SNL cast member because Ben Stiller, very briefly, was a cast member on SNL.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to make short films, but that was not what the show was up to right then, so they had him doing live TV, and he hated doing live TV ever since his parents shoved him on live TV when he was a kid. But we do get the bonus point there, so we are going to get 5 for the number of movies. We're going to get 3 for the wild card is 8. We're going to get 1 for the SNL cast member, and that is 9 points, and you are both winners today.
Wow.
Katherine Quintana, whose newest release, Like to Love, is available online for streaming everywhere music is streamed. Don Lee, whose music you can find wherever Don Lee performs and online.
DonLeeSounds.com.
There we go. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to be on 5 to 9 today, for playing our game. You've each won the official 5 to 9 gamepad, which comes with 50 game cards, which is also available right now at 5to9game.com. That's the number 5, T-O, the number 9, game.com. And I keep, every time I go to put the music on, it does not want to do that. I have to rewind it, and when I rewind
Be kind
it,
and rewind.
there we go. Do that again. For playing our game, you've each won the official 5 to 9 gamepad, which comes with 50 game cards and is also available now at 5to9game.com. Make sure to check out Katherine's release. Make sure to check out Don's release. If you 5 to 9ers listening in the... I'm just all discombobulated now.
Oh, because you can find the music.
Every time I try to rewind it, it
I'll tell
flips
you,
to a
these
different
iPads.
screen. Yeah. If you 5 to 9ers listening out there in the podcast ether want to play along with us, if you're chomping at the bit, yelling out a better solution to today's challenge as we played through it, you can enter for a chance to come on our show by beating us at our own game. Just download or purchase official 5 to 9 game cards at 5to9game.com, play today's challenge, post your game card on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, and tag at 5 to 9 game. High scores as well as creativity and entertainment value will be considered. This has been 5 to 9. I'm your host, Eric Ginsberg. Our show is recorded at a shared universe podcast studio on the boardwalk in beautiful Asbury Park, New Jersey. Our sound engineer today is Chris Madd. Our theme music is by me off my new album, Fire. Subscribe to the 5 to 9 podcast through the Apple Podcast app, Google Play Store, SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube if you want to look at us too, or literally everywhere else you get your podcast. Please play along with us online through social media, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, thanks for listening, and let's play together again soon.